We like, man, what's going on? How y'all doing, man? My name is Gavonne Dixon. I'm a motivational speaker and author, and I'm here today to share with you a little bit about my story and a little bit about my message. And I hope to leave you guys with something inspiring and motivating that you could take and use for yourself in the future. A little bit how I started, man. I was about 22, 23 years old, and I was in my last semester of college, and I found out that I wouldn't be able to return to college because of due to my financial aid, and I wasn't doing that good in college anyway. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I was an all-A student. I wasn't doing that good. I was barely passing. I mean, barely, and I was just at a point where I was trying to figure out exactly what I was meant to do. I was really just calling out to God and just saying, do I have a purpose in life? Is there something that is strictly for me, that I'm special in, that I'm meant to do for you, that has a purpose that will affect other people? And I mean, God spoke to me. He did. He came to me, and he told me he came to me through people. And at that time, 22 to 23 years old, you feel like you really don't know anything. And a lot of people kept coming to me like, hey man, like you really have a way with the way you put words together and how you talk to people and try to help them and inspire them. And at this time, I'm probably at the lowest point in my life ever, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Like, just at a point where I'm frustrated because I felt like I had, tried to succeed, and just a lot of obstacles and unnecessary turmoil was thrown at me, and I felt like I was just unlucky at that point. And so for people to say, like, I have a ability to motivate others, it was kind of like coincidental, but I don't believe in coincidences. So with that, people just kept saying that to me, like, you should do that. And then I was at my university, and a speaker came and gave a presentation, and the speaker wound up becoming my mentor, Hassani Pettiford. But in watching him do that, and having a chance to talk to him for a minute or so afterwards, and him sharing his life about, like he telling me he had some kids and a wife, and at that time I had already 2 children, 1 on the way. So I was like, oh, that, and then he was telling me how he travels and controls his own time, and I was like, that's something I could really look into. And so it was just God. He was like, he told me a little bit about what he did or whatever, and he gave me his information, and I looked at his website, and it was something that I flirted with back then, but I wasn't really ready for. And it was a thought that was put into my mind, and I believe it was truly God. It was truly that something that he put on me, and it wasn't for that time. At that time I would have loved for it to be my immediate outlet of what I was going through, because like I said, that was my last semester of school. So now I'm looking at, all right, what am I going to do? Because I'm not going to graduate, get my degree, and get a full-time job. Now I have to get a full-time job, in some field or area in which I'm able to support my family. Because being a part-time student, working work study and having a part-time job, I was able to get by. But I can have excuses for why I don't work full-time and why I don't do the things. I was sacrificing a lot of financially while in school, because you're looking for the long-term goal. So having a job and looking at that and saying, okay, now I have to either go full-time here and try to, work with the money that they're going to give me, or try to pursue other positions and try to get more money. And I would have loved to, be happy. And that was the whole thing about me and my goals in life. Like the goal in going to college was not to just get a degree in which I was able to make money. It was getting a degree in which I did something that I enjoyed. So that's why, unlike a lot of people from my background in my area, I majored in chemistry. And it was the hardest thing that I probably ever partook upon in my life, in terms of the mental requirements of doing the chemistry. It's not hard work. It's just you have to know it, and you have to have that practice, confidence, knowledge, and what to do and how to do it, and be able to apply it. And it was a decision that was inspired upon by me and my resolve to remain intent on being happy above all, not pursuing money or fame or anything. I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be happy and help people. And that was at the core of everything that I was doing in my life. So becoming a speaker It offered that opportunity, but it wasn't something that I was ready for. I didn't have the mentality, I didn't have the mindset to fully embrace that idea of becoming someone whose opinion is worth wow, or even worth money. So I had to go through a whole transformation, and now I'm at this point, and that starting back 5-6 years ago, 22, 23, when God first put the idea in my mind, it was a journey, because at the time I was a non-believer almost. So going to a Catholic university and growing up a believer, going to church on Sundays, at that point in my life, having gone through some of the losses that I that I had suffered in life, I wasn't really sure if I believed in God, and I wasn't really sure if I could proclaim Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And one of the biggest things that happened to me was when I was 19 years old, and I was in my sophomore year at college. It was my first semester living on campus, and I had resolved it to myself to become somebody totally different, somebody new. I was going to become a successful black man who did things right, who ate right, worked out, and took care of all his responsibilities. And the beginning of the semester went great, basically. I was able to move in on campus, had a roommate, had a core group of friends. We all were focused on trying to do good. And my best friend from my childhood got killed. And I remember this day like it was yesterday. I was preparing for class, and at this point, every day I was, going to class and doing my work, which was not usual for me. And like I said, I'm only a sophomore, but after 3 semesters, I just developed some bad habits. So this semester I was really focused on trying to develop some new ones. And I remember waking up and, I'm getting dressed for class, and, you just throw some clothes on, run to class real fast, and I get a call, and my pants are at my leg, at the bottom of my ankle, so I haven't even pulled my pants up, and my phone is in my pocket. And I reach down to get my phone, and I answer it, and it's my sister. And she says she's crying, and by this time, I'm used to these type of calls. If you're from Philadelphia, or were from Philadelphia during this time in 2005, 2006, getting calls about somebody being murdered were kind of routine. So I figured, it was somebody who we knew through association, or somebody who I was close to, but I never figured it would be who she said it would be. And it was my best friend, Gavonne Smith. And when she said it, I just kind of collapsed. Like I sat down, and I just remember everything sinking in. And I remember just feeling so lost, because for me, Gavonne represented me and Gavonne represented the people from where we were from, the hood, the Badlands of North Philadelphia, the people that were going to get out. We were the ones who tried to do good, who didn't really, partake in the evil things per se of the hood, of selling drugs and guns and all of those things. At least I didn't think Gavonne did. I knew I did, and we both were close and grew up. And to a certain point, I knew that he was struggling in terms of finding a job and stuff like that, but I didn't really know what he was into. So my initial reaction was that it was this fear. It was this new fear that I'd never experienced, that it could happen to me. I thought that I had made it out of that cycle. I thought that I was exempt from it because I was in college and I was trying to do the right things, and I was putting myself around people who didn't live those lives. But I could never detach myself from those people. And that feeling of pain, of hurt, of loss shook my world. I mean, at 19, I didn't really know how to cope. I wound up missing class for like 2 weeks. And I come sallying into class one day, to my chemistry class, and like my teacher asked me what's wrong, and She usually I'm a happy-go-lucky person. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, I told her what happened. I lost my best friend. Like I just couldn't bring I went to his funeral probably the day before, so I missed class up until his funeral. His funeral was 2 weeks after I heard about his death, and I went to class like maybe a day after. She could tell, and I had a test that day. She had a test ready on the table, and she just like, "What's wrong? Like, where you been at?" And I explained myself. So just that whole experience, I didn't know how to cope with it. And from that point on, I started a lot of habits that I used to try to cope. I started drinking more, going out more, trying to forget about my identity of who I was completely. Trying to just detach myself from Gavonne Dixon as a person and just become this person that I didn't know. And I went through a period of time where I distanced myself from a lot of people that loved me, and I hurt a lot of people that loved me. And it was just a dark period of time in my life because he was just the first one. And Gavonne represented a long list of people that would eventually would be hurt, that I would lose. And in all that loss, it became more of a question about God and me questioning God. And it's like, all right, is God real? And I'm a science major, so you're having those conversations. And is God real? Is science? It's the world, and it's you. You have control. It's your mind, and just being lost. And it's funny. I remember having one of those conversations, maybe a couple of months before Gavonne got killed, where I declared that it was the first time I ever declared that I was a non-believer to other people. It was like one of the first nights I moved on campus, and I said it. We was having a conversation. It was like, me, my roommate, and we had my man Troy was sleeping on the futon in the middle, and we all were just talking about religion, and I was like, no, I don't really believe. And that was the first time I ever said it out loud. So that just came to me the other day, and I was like, that's crazy. I said that semester, and then that just started that semester started a downward spiral for me in my life. And it happened so rapidly, and that relationship to God, that correspondence to God, where I say God called me to do this. It was God that pulled me out of my darkest times, because it got darker after that. It got way darker. Once I decided once I realized I couldn't go back to school, I took on a full-time position at my current job back then, which was CVS, and I wound up just experiencing the whole corporate experience of trying to get a raise and working hard and being dedicated, and then being disappointed, and that hurt, and I wound up quitting my job and losing my house, basically being homeless, wound up staying with my mom and being an inconvenience on her. And I moved back and forth between my mom and my girl's grandmom, and went through a whole dark period of just drinking excessively with no purpose. Just drinking in the morning, drinking in the afternoon, just drinking. Went through a period where I went to rehab for a weekend vacation, I guess. I went to just see what the experience was like, see if I needed it, and just God gave me what I needed in that weekend, in that short period of time, to be able to know that I didn't want to become what I was saying I was, and I wasn't really that yet. And just a whole dark period of not believing and being unemployed and broke and doing things that even I questioned at the time, in terms of hanging with certain people and doing certain things that are frowned upon. It was an experience. It was a journey. And now I'm here. And now Jesus has came into my life and redeemed and saved me. And this is the first time I'm declaring that. So now I know that a whole nother cycle starts from that. This is the first time I declare this to people out loud, and I wanted to. I've been waiting for this opportunity for 5-6 years now, for when I have my first interaction with you, when I introduce myself, and I let you know, get to know me, and hopefully you reach back and I get to know you, and we build a relationship. because God has chosen me to do something, and that is to inspire, to motivate. I don't want anything for me. It's like I don't have a lot of major goals in life. I don't want to become an astronaut or become a doctor or anything like that. My pure goal, my pure focus now is to motivate you, to inspire you to find whatever it is inside of you that God is giving you, that God is calling you to do, and to pursue it. To pursue it effortlessly, day in, day out. To find that thing that makes you so happy that you don't even exist on this earth anymore. That you exist in a world of joyful bliss and excitement and pure euphoria. My purpose now is to share the experience of life, of going through something, of being knocked down, but then getting back up. And looking forward to the opportunities when you get knocked down and you get to get back up. And everything that I just said about my life and me going through what I had to go through to get to this point, none of it would have meant anything if I didn't have the backward thought in my mind to say, all of this is for a reason. There has been a prevalent thought in my mind, and there's a prevalent thought in your mind, that you can do anything, right? You were told that as a child, and it's hard not to believe it. I know it's hard to believe that the things that you dreamed of as a child are possible, that your imagination can manifest your reality. But God said so. Everything that if you've encountered anything New Age and encountered about law of attraction, about anything, it's all about God and bringing that back. And today I'm here with a simple message, man, to believe in something higher, in something bigger than yourself, and to say that bigger thing is on your side, and to embrace it fully and wholly, to walk inside of a space that exists with something that is greater than you, like outside of this range right here. I want to inspire people to not be so angry. I don't know, like everyone has a purpose. Everyone has something that they are meant to do. And one of the biggest things that people struggle with in terms of embracing their purpose, embracing what you're meant to do, is that you think it's too small. Like, we look at, people of the past and compare ourselves to the great accolades. Like, oh man, I can never do nothing like invent a light bulb, because light bulb's already been invented. Like, there's nothing that'll ever be better than that. That's how some people think it. And I'm here to dispel the notion that small doesn't mean great, or something as small as crocheting is unimportant. Like, there's a level of joy and happiness that you will bring to others if you find your own personal joy and happiness. If you find that thing that makes you truly happy, you will not only liberate yourself to be passionate and focused, but you will give others the opportunity to see that light, to see that thing that when somebody else just goes into something that they believe in and they do it. Like, give me a second, don't do it, go ahead. At the end of the day, what do I want to be known for? What mark do you want to leave on this world? What do you want to share with people? What do you want to give unconditionally and wholly? There is a energy that exists. I can feel it. I can feel it. And it lets me know that it's not about running a race and being the fastest. It's about running the race and making sure you finish. It's about taking the small steps and just enjoying the journey. It's not about whether or not you're in optimal shape or you prepared the most, or even if you care about the race. It's about wherever you're at in the race, in that moment, living and being alive. So whether you're first, you're last, or you're in between, be happy. Be joyful about your situation. Because the alternative is to be miserable. The alternative is to be unhappy. And if for some reason you're going to be alive, if you have to wake up every day, if you have to be a human being every day of your life, and wake up and have to eat and shower and brush your teeth, and if you have to do these things, do them happily. If you have $20 in your bank account or $20,000, everything you do it with utter joy and peace, because there's only one alternative, and that's being unhappy. And that is a decision. That is a decision that you make on how you perceive to accept things. I believe in the force. I believe in God. I believe in being in connection with a higher being who allows access to his infinite knowledge. And I believe that when you access that infinite knowledge, when you allow yourself to be just a little bit less than what you thought you were, you get something that's greater than anything that you ever thought it would be. How does a kid from North Philly, who had my first child when I was 17 years old, I've been arrested, come from parents that were addicted to drugs, and first generation college student, only person in my family to ever go to college so far. How do I decide to become a motivational speaker? How do I consider myself an expert on self-help? It's because I needed self-help. I needed to figure out how to help myself get out of the situations that I felt that didn't have to overcome me and I didn't have to partake in. I needed to figure out how to not become like so many other bright, intelligent-minded people who wound up just living a life of mediocre results, of never really doing anything with passion and purpose with the intent to really help people. I needed to figure out how to become my utmost self. And so I began a journey. I began a journey that at times I didn't even know I was embarking on, and it was God. And now I can admit that to you today. That it wasn't me. I didn't get here. I didn't get to where I'm going for myself, but it was God. And I asked him for something. And I give you caution when you ask God for something, because he will give it to you, and you may not understand what it is. I asked God for a way out. I asked God for a way to be happy. I asked God for a way to be the commander of my time, my money, and my spirit, to be aligned with his purpose, and to give me clear definition of what it is that I was meant to do. And for years he was telling me, he gave me signs and he gave me opportunities, and I was ignoring it because I thought I wasn't ready, because I thought that I needed to go through something else, or I needed to learn more. And today I learned that it's not when you think you're ready, it's when God thinks you're ready. It's that moment that he decides to utilize you. And up until that point and past that point and forever, the point is to just be happy that you are here and that you are living, and that you can share your experience, you can share your redemption with everyone that you come in contact with. That you aren't dead. That you've been saved from every dark moment that you ever had in your past, from the bottom, the pit that you were in a year ago or 6 years ago, or that tragedy that happened to you way back in the past, or that thing that hurt you and that you say you can't get over, but you get up every day and you live and you smile and you find moments to tell someone you love them. Those are the things that I'm trying to share. That you're just meant to be here to be happy. Can't nobody take that away from you. Can't nobody steal that. That is not a material thing based upon matter or circumstance. It's a thing determined by decisions. So I encourage you to decide to be happy. I mean, I'm here, man. I'm trying. Like I don't know what else to do. Like this is all I have. This is what I have for today. It doesn't. And wanting to honestly give something that is of value, something that you can use for yourself. If I can give you anything, it is just to believe, man. It is to have confidence in the truth, the existence, the reliability of. To believe. That's what it means to believe, to have confidence in the truth, the existence and reliability of something, although one is without absolute proof that you are right in doing so. So believe in God. Believe in the people around you. Believe in yourself. And that's it, man. Well, you can stop it now, Flash.
Just have a conversation now, man.
What?
That's it. I was going to song strike. I was just something. Let's still get picked up. It's cool. Still just going. That was pretty cool, man. I was sitting there just, you want to stop it? Don't ever stop the recording.
Oh, don't stop the recording. Good.
You stop the recording?
No, I ain't stop it.
I'm going to stop it.
No.
Stop it.
No.